Hello and welcome to the second part of the introduction to the DevOps. And here I will be explaining what is DevOps and what are the tools aligned it and whatever the things that we want to learn in the further incoming videos session. So, going ahead with the DevOps definition. DevOps is a set of practice that combines software development like it is a dev and IT operations, it is a ops. So this DevOps has been made up of two words. DevOps is made up of generally two words, that is development and operations. It aims to shorten the system development life cycle and provide the continuous delivery of the high quality software. Examples in this, I can say the WhatsApp, Instagram, these are the live example where the full-fledged DevOps practices have been using. These companies like Meta or Google to deliver their applications, they have been using the DevOps culture, and this DevOps culture has the key objectives like giving the faster time to market, like the any features that we want to implement it with a zero down timing. In the previous generation, the application update takes too long time, and it was a lengthy process at all. So after developing the culture of the DevOps process, these time have been decreased, and it tends to the faster time to the market for any of the feature, improved collaboration between the development team and the operation teams as well, and enhanced quality and reliability, and often it improves the security features as well. We work in the end to end development team, end to end operation teams, and combinedly they form a DevOps team as well. So why DevOps is important at all? So response to the market changes quickly. In the recent scenario, if you will see, like Facebook, if Facebook is going ahead with the downtime of the application for a 6 hours or 4 hours, it will definitely go ahead and make a loss for their business as well. Any features that we want to create, any features that we want to apply, and any new feature that we want to give it into the market, it delivers the features faster, and it also reduce the downtime. Like whatever we want to implement, without making the application offline, we can implement a new feature as well, and it also improves the scalability of the application. So, what is the development and operations life cycle? The DevOps life cycle occurs with the CALMS model. Like the CALMS model explain CALMS. CALMS model explain like culture, automation, lean process, measurement, and sharing. Introduce think the while we introduce whatever the DevOps life cycle stages, just we are going ahead with the small types, like what are the things are involved in it and what are the tools are involved in it. First of all, so for planning of the application, for planning of the feature, for planning of the development and operations, any feature requests whatever are coming, so we can use a Jira or a Confluence for our use. So for the planning, like what we want to build and how we want to build, this will be going ahead with the tools like Jira, Trello, and Confluence. These are the some of the applications. For the development of the code, controlling the versions of the code, any features of the code in the particular version, we use Git, GitHub, GitLab, and Bitbucket. So these are the version controlling systems and source control management system where we want to store our code securely and even integrate those things with the other further coming um, continuous integration and continuous deployment type of thing, like Jenkins, GitHub Actions. So while building the application, now we have built the code, we have developed the code, develop the application on our local server, on our local machine. Now we will be proceeding ahead with the build, like automating the dependencies and builds. We use generally the tools like Jenkins, GitLab CI, Jenkins CI CD, and also we use GitHub Actions as well. And we use some of the Gradle and Circle CI as well. Now we will be going ahead with the test operations like using the different type of tools, maintaining the quality and making the QA process faster by using these tools and automating those processes as well. Going ahead with the release manage for the testing, we can use Selenium, we can use TestNG, we can use JUnit as well. And going ahead with the release of the application, so deployment into the various environment. Here, when we want to make a release, so it doesn't belongs only to the things called the release of application into the production server, but also in the development server or a test servers as well. Going ahead with this one, we can say Jenkins or Bamboo for the release process we can use here. And for the deployment, so for the deployment process, we can use the multiple tools like automating the release to the production. So here we use Kubernetes, Docker, which are the container management tools as well. So it is not a container management tool, like it is a containerization and managing the image. Either you are developing your own image, though you can do it with Docker, and after that configuration management, we can use Ansible and Ceph and Puppet for configuring the production server as well. And for the operations like infrastructure management and application management, we can use like nagios and Prometheus and Grafana are definitely be used for the monitoring of those applications into the live and production environment, getting the logs and other things as well. I will be explaining all of these topics, but this is just an introductory session where I am just explaining like what are the tools involved through the DevOps practices as well. For monitoring, so automating the tasks like the deployment, like continuous delivery and continuous deployment as well, all of the things are automated in this way. We can say like how we can use these things. So these whole structures, the whole pipeline of the DevOps are built into a single pipeline that is called CI/CD pipeline. Here, the automation process, the test process for the build, automation process, test processes, and whatever we want to define, like building of the application and delivering those application to the production servers, deploying those application to the production servers. These things can be done with these characteristics. So there are multiple DevOps tools. Basically, my target was to explain what are the DevOps tool we are going to use in our further introduction section. Like this is the uh, what to say, like further tutorial sessions, like going ahead with the AWS cloud services, going ahead with the Jenkins CI/CD or GitHub Actions pipeline, to how to make them, how to build with them, how to write those pipelines as well. So going ahead, so the DevOps tools which we use in the which we are going to use in these tutorial sessions are for the version controlling system. We will be using GitHub, and sometimes I will be introducing you the PID or closed source system with the Atlassian's Bitbucket as well. This is important way to start the DevOps tutorial, where I will be explaining how to use Git and GitHub regularly to push, pull, merge the code, generate the pull request, and again generating the feature branches as well. And going ahead with the continuous integration and CI/CD pipeline that we called. So here I will be explaining two tools, like one is Jenkins CI/CD and again the second one is the GitHub Actions. The both are open source and free to use here. So we will be using these two to automate the continuous delivery and continuous integration processes, and also the testing processes as well. For the configuration management of the server, like infrastructure, whatever we want to say, if we are using the on premises server, if we are using the cloud server, for these we will be using the Ansible for configuration of the infrastructure. And this is the role where the word IAC comes into the picture, infrastructure as code. We write the whole infrastructure in the form of code, in the form of YAML structure, and then we can go ahead by deploying those things, and automatically the servers will be defined with will be deployed with our required values, and whatever we want to store, and whatever we want to how how we want to configure our application as well. Going ahead with the containerization and orchestration of the application, that is the main process. We will be using Docker and Kubernetes, and again these two tools are most famous tools that we have been using from the early of the DevOps culture. So Docker is used for the image builds and creation, like if your application has been based on the fast API, you can based bundle those application by using the bare metal of the Python as a base image, and again you can define your own. I will be telling you how those Docker images or custom images can be created. And after that, proceeding with the Kubernetes, I will be explaining how Kubernetes manage those images by while the orchestration and containerization of those application by isolating the application and manage the containerized workloads. So basically, Kubernetes was developed by Google, and later on they donated it to the open source community. And I will be explaining how the Kubernetes emerged, how Docker emerged as well. Going ahead with the monitoring and logging tool, now the ELK stack is closed source, but I will be going ahead with the two of the closed source system. One is AWS CloudWatch and CloudTrail. Into the AWS, when I will be explaining the cloud service of the AWS, and after that I will be going ahead with the other two main tools, Prometheus and Grafana, for monitoring and logging. Here we will be using these tools for tracking the performance of the application, detecting the issues, and analyzing the logs of the application. And again, after that, we will be discussing the cloud platforms separately. So here, basically, I will be focusing over the AWS, Amazon Web Services, because it is easy, and it also provides you the free tier limit for 1 year, so that you can make yourself more comfortable over the tools whatever the AWS is providing, and more comfortable over the cloud technologies and cloud computing aspects as well. Ajo. So let me explain you how the DevOps workflow occurs. So a feature is logged in a Jira. Jira is a planning tool that I explained before. A feature is logged in a Jira, or any other team who wanted that feature to be implemented in the application. So that feature has been logged into the Jira. And then we will, so this one was a planning. And again, going ahead with the development. After planning, the development come. Developers develop those codes with those particular feature and push it to the GitHub or wherever we want. If companies are using Bitbucket, if companies are using any other tool, then it is okay. Then going ahead with the build processes. When the code gets pushed, every time I will also explain how the code gets pushed to the GitHub, and then how the builds are automatically run over it. So we don't need to take care uh, to go ahead and okay, the code has been pushed, now we will have to run those build. Because the build, when the those pushing the changes over the GitHub will get triggered, our build will be defined in such a way, like if this particular branch is getting a new update, this particular build will be automatically starting this particular Jenkins file or CI/CD pipeline file will be automatically start the build processes as well. After that, we can also run the test automatically, like Selenium or other things, test ng, to test the processes as well. Now, after that, we can go ahead with the deployment process. We will be creating the Docker images, and after that, those Docker container, after the creation of the image, and after that, we will be creating the containers, and those Docker containers will be deployed via Kubernetes in the forms of pods. So, the Kubernetes hierarchy comes like the image, and it is on the top of image the containers are built, and on the top of containers it the pods are built. So we directly do not manage the containers and images when we are working into the Kubernetes. And even though we don't manage the pods as well, I will explain how these things automatically works: creation of the pods, automatic creation of the pods, automatic uh, uh, how those pods are getting how those means like how these pods are automatically created and automatically destroyed, and how do we recover from the destruction of those pods. These are the these are the methods in which we can excel our DevOps practices as well. So this is not a very good video, like I am for the very first time I am coming in front of camera, so there might be a glitch, there might be a fumble from my end as well, but still going ahead with the other things. Now, operations. For the operations part, monitoring and logging, we will be using those we will be integrating those Prometheus and Grafana to our Kubernetes application, and going ahead with the Prometheus that monitors the system health and the application health, like if the application is having downtime, if the application is having the rush in the business hours, and how to recover it. So after that, those feedback will be logged into the Grafana for further actions as well. What are the benefits? Like these, this whole tutorial, this whole introduction was very fast-paced way, and it was in very fast-paced way. But still, just here I was trying to explain like whatever the tools we will be using in our further tutorial. Separately, I will be making a how-to playlist where I will explain the particular thing, like how to do this, while I will share my screen over it, and practically I will be showing, and the whole a bunch of the things into the DevOps practice. I will be making a tutorial in the screen sharing way as well. But here I just wanted to let you know what are the benefits of DevOps, like faster delivery for the features and fixes when we are working in a client environment, improved collaboration between the teams, like we don't need any developers don't need to take care of the infrastructure, so uh, they don't want to check with the infrastructure, like if their code is compatible to the infrastructure, as is their code compatible with the current infrastructure or not. For those things, for scalability and other things, the operations teams like the DevOps teams will be taking care of it. High quality and reliability of the software, the third one. So this is the tool. The DevOps is a particular practice where the high quality applications and high performance applications are built over, and often it is cost efficient as well. So when we are talking about the cost efficient, it reduces the cost of maintenance, it reduces the cost of deployment and production environment as well. So going ahead with the summary, here I just explained the DevOps methodology in very fast paced way. I don't wanted to particularly bore you all over it, like what is the DevOps and what are the things. I just pointed the things over the practical and practical scenarios. And though this is my first or second this is my second video, and there might be a chances of mm, faults, and there might be a chances of the delivery as well, but I will try to compress all of these things into a very nominal time. And here we are focusing on the small start, like we will be starting from the very basic, and then we will be scale our that scale those application to the gradual at a production level as well. I will not say like to buy the higher version or purchase those level of infrastructure, but I will tell you how to do this on your own. And here I am not telling you for I'm not making this tutorial on the point of theoretical knowledge, because while you are going to the certifications, then definitely you will have to learn some of the theoretical knowledge as well. But the theoretical knowledge, I am not saying like I will not be delivering those theoretical knowledge, but the depth will be at the intermediate level, so that you can crack interviews, you can answer something into the interviews, and based on that you will have to go ahead with your own learnings as well. And that's all for the things. And first of all, we will be focusing our things over the GitHub Actions and Jenkins CI/CD pipeline, because these two tools are most necessary to build CI/CD pipeline. So this is for all, and let's meet in the other video where I will be explaining in-depth knowledge of the particular tools in further tutorials what we are going to use.